In astrology, Lilith is not a planet or a body. It is a point in space, the lunar apogee, where the moon is farthest from the earth. And yet, despite being invisible, Lilith stirs something visceral within us. She is the name we give to something untamed, something ancient. She is an archetype formed at the intersection of cosmic geometry and cultural mythology. Myths tell us Lilith was Adam's first wife, formed not from his rib, but from the same dust. She left Eden not because she sinned, but because she refused to be beneath him. There's no divine punishment in this version, only exile. In some tellings, she fled to the edge of the world, to become a night spirit, to consort with demons, or to birth her own kind. But why, we must ask, has Lilith become a symbol for feminine taboo? Why is it the woman in the myth who becomes demonized for leaving? Why not Adam for insisting on hierarchy? Why is sexuality, independence, or defiance coded as feminine deviance? In truth, these patterns reveal more about human culture than cosmic truth. We inherit a lineage where the masculine is deemed rational, solar, divine, and the feminine, lunar, messy, disobedient, dangerous. Lilith is the counterspell to that story. She is not simply feminine, she is archetype. She is anyone who has said no, walked away, and dared to thrive in exile. She is every voice that said, I will not make myself smaller for your comfort. To speak of Lilith is to touch the idea of the feminine that refuses domestication. She is often misrepresented as seductress, as demoness, as chaos in human form. But at her core, Lilith is simply the part of us that says no. No to suppression, no to reduction, no to the polite erasure of hunger, rage, or desire. In charts, she can reveal where we've internalized shame and where we rebel against the roles we've been handed. Her influence is rarely comfortable, but always revealing. In astrological work, Lilith invites reflection, not on what is good or evil, but on what has been cast into shadow and why. She is not a villain, nor a heroine. She is a mirror, a reminder of the exiled within us, the parts that had to go quiet to survive, the power we once hid, the voice we learned to lower. To explore Lilith in your chart is not to seek blame or validation. It's to trace the edge of yourself, to meet what has been silenced, to remember the rage that was never allowed to become fire, and ask what it might become if given space. Lilith moves slowly, taking about 9 months to transit through each zodiac sign, mirroring the human gestation cycle, which is a poetic synchronicity in itself. She lingers, like a deep current under the surface, stirring collective and personal themes linked to the sign she occupies. Currently, Lilith is in Scorpio, a sign that naturally rules taboo, transformation, death, and rebirth. Lilith in Scorpio intensifies everything she touches. This is the realm of emotional extremes, secrets, erotic magnetism, and power struggles. When Lilith journeys through Scorpio, we are collectively invited to confront buried desires, unspoken rage, and our complex relationship with control and vulnerability. She becomes the primal scream beneath the mask, the seduction that defies shame, and the silent defiance that says, I will not shrink to fit your fear. This placement can bring up themes of betrayal, boundary violation, and revenge, but also deep healing, sexual reclamation, and radical truth-telling. It asks, what part of your power have you learned to suppress to stay safe? And what would it take to call it back, fully, without apology? Lilith does not demand that you become loud, only that you no longer lie to yourself. As she moves through Scorpio, consider, what have you exiled in order to be loved? And is it time to call it home? To embrace Lilith is to rewild the parts of us that were shamed, to honor the instincts we buried for the sake of being accepted, to scream when we were told to smile, to name the pain, the hunger, the rage,